Welcome back to Super Castlevania 4. We are now on stage 9. We are so close to the end, people, you have no idea. And now we get to go through the treasure room of the castle. Gringotts, eat your freaking heart out. Dracula has so much money, he just piles it in the middle of nowhere. He has so much money that he has chests pop it out and doesn't care where it goes.
Even more than
he covers his skeletons in gold.
Even more than the Misty Mountains.
You mean than Erebor?
Sure, why not?
I just wanted to go for Gringotts. Dracula has so much gold, he paints his skeletons in gold. Alright? That's the way it goes, and oh crap. Hi, Wii U menu. Yes, I'm playing on the Wii U Virtual Console. So, sorry, happens occasionally. And this is actually one of the hardest levels in the castle. At least as a kid, it was to me. I could never get past this level. And you will see in a little bit why. Because we start having some slowdown issues. But it's so pretty to see all this gold and ghosts wandering around. Here we come.
Well, it's kind of interesting that, you know, you could never beat it when you were a kid, but once you get old enough, you actually do beat it.
Well, as a kid, you didn't have the patience, and now you have to. Oh man, the slowdown's gonna kill me! I love the 16-bit score of this game! It's awesome! Oh man, and I actually just barely realized that I could have gotten a major treasure opportunity and some upgrades, and I didn't. I fail. So much gold everywhere. It's almost like I'm Scrooge McDuck, man. See, this is the problem with this part of the stage, is that once the platforms start falling apart, it creates instant slowdown. Which doesn't make any sense, well, I guess with the ghosts flying in the background, it kind of does. But that's just such a death trap. Oh, and now we're in this part of the cave. I'm kind of surprised that the skeleton dragons aren't covered in gold. No! Dang it! So, Andrea, what are you thinking of the game so far?
It's an interesting game.
One that you would actually want to play in your own time?
Yeah, probably.
Go into the Castlevania series.
Yeah, probably.
Such a great series of games. You have no idea. Oh, and this part where the gold is so thick, it creates quicksand, almost. Dang it, Wii U menu! This is my problem, is that since the sub-weapon button changes in this game, I forget that it's not the button that activates the Wii U menu. And therefore, that's why it happens all the time. No! No! I need to get up there! There we go. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's just a coffin. No reason to panic. Except that I can't really go any further. Oh, this! This feature's back from Castlevania 3! Oh, I'm so happy to see it again! Now, that might just seem like me being silly, but no, that's actually a mechanic. There are holes that can suck in air, and therefore can suck you in and keep you there.
Wow.
So, like, if you have an enemy right on your tail, or this guy...
How come it didn't suck in?
It did.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. When you don't see me moving and you see that air getting sucked in right there, that's what's happening.
Oh, I thought you meant like getting sucked in.
No, it holds you there.
Oh, okay.
So, like, if I was trying to get away from an enemy, I couldn't do anything about it. I'd have to accept it. Again, this is the time when Konami actually tried to make hardcore games. They weren't Metal Gear, and they weren't Pachinko! It depresses me so much, Andrea. Konami is now a Pachinko company. I will never get another Castlevania. Which is really sad, too, because this year I officially finished the Castlevania series with Lords of Shadow 2. And it really does make me sad. I'm not going to get another Castlevania game. Sure, I'll get Bloodstained, but I don't think Castlevania is ever going to get dug out ever again. I now know the pain that you both know when you waited so long for Banjo 3E to come out, and it never happened. Instead, you got nuts and bolts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry.
I have to play that.
Nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
Leave a comment below and tell Andrea she doesn't have to play that game. She won't follow it, but please leave a comment. I'd like to read them.
Well, I haven't tried it. Well, I've only tried maybe a bit of it, but that was it. But I haven't tried it fully.
To which my answer is, again, you don't have to actually play through every single game. You can leave the bad games alone, Andrea. You can do it. The fact that you want to subject yourself to so much pain makes me want to do this. Why do you make me go through pain, Andrea?
Because I love it.
What was that?
Because I love it.
Okay, I have absolute power in my hands. I probably better get rid of it. Okay, boss time. So, just because we're going through the treasure room, we now have a bat completely made out of gold. This isn't going to be a problem, right? Well, it wouldn't be unless... if you killed it, and then all of a sudden it started splitting into other bats, then maybe you'd have a problem. But thankfully it's not doing that, right? Oh, no, 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 no! Don't do that! Don't! Yeah, this is the only part of the boss fight, of this boss fight that's hard, is that now if you hit them, there's also a possibility that their entrails, so to speak, are going to kill you. Alright, one more bat, and there we go.
How are you staying in the air like that?
Because I'm awesome like that. It's like those Geico commercials these days. Savings!
That's every insurance commercial.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, and a mystical staircase just opened up.
Dun, dun,
Where does this take me?
To heaven.
We are now near Dracula's Keep. Which means now we get to have a wonderful homage to that which came before. And also one of the hardest stages in the game. But also a staple from Castlevania 3, the Clock Tower is now back in this game. And with a wonderful remix of Bloody Tears.
Yay!
From Simon's Quest. You know, it's one of those things where I will always side with Konami on this one, where they decided to take tracks from the NES soundtracks and redo them for 16-bit. And as much as people don't like video games live, I love that they even took it that much further and did remasterings of tracks like Bloody Tears of Vampire Killer. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Is this like Scrap Brain Zone, Alex?
I know.
And I apparently can't make a jump to save my life. There we go! Yeah, the Clock Tower levels in Castlevania games are actually very beloved. They always are constructed very well for levels. And they always have music that's just perfect. Very you know, it's one of those things where I hate to be the usual 80s guy and say heavy metal works for everything, but heavy metal tends to work for, like, clock tower stages. It works. At least in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but... Oh my gosh, scaling the clock tower! Do 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 do. Do 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 do. This is the part where I imitate Alex in the early days, and I just sing this track the entire time. Because I love it.
I love this track too.
It's one of the few things that we can actually say from Simon's Quest was good from it. And somebody actually did give us the request of playing Simon's Quest Redaction. And I almost don't want to, because we've already played Simon's Quest, and aside from fixing all the problems, Redaction kind of speaks for itself. Maybe as an indie spotlight, we'll play Simon's Quest Redaction and just say if this fixed this problem or not, but I'm kind of against it at the moment. I want Simon's Quest to stand for what it is. Do 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 do. And further up we go with more Medusa heads than we want to ever deal with. Why? Why do we have to deal with so many freaking Medusa heads?
There's just a lot.
You will die a lot. Is that the trademark of Lord Cat?
Could be.
Did you watch Lord Cat at all on Channel Awesome?
No.
Well, it was that. It was Chig back in the day.
Though never watched it.
I never got that acronym. Why would you go with Tigwatig? All right, well, we have a straightaway now. We're out of this part of the clock tower, but we also have to deal with Skeller Rapiers. That's actually their name, Skeller Rapiers. And yet another universal classic, De Mummy.
It's a Gypto!
And apparently he ate something spicy because he's spouting out fireballs endlessly. But it's okay, I have the cross, so I'm not really all that worried. I'm just getting extra damage. No! You're almost dead! Don't change the rules! Yes! And there it goes.
Salon mummy.
Do 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 do. All right, so that's actually the second to last stage, because I don't necessarily count Dracula's stage as a stage. It's not a full one. But now we get to have some real fun in what is considered to be the hardest stage in this game. What is supposed to be a culmination of everything you learned from this game, but not really. And yet another remix, we have Vampire Killer from the original Castlevania. And these also are enemies that will come in later Castlevania games. They have the name of Duron. And their sprite doesn't really change from the games too much. If anything, it got cleaned up and made for 32-bit games. I don't care if I get your comments in the comments below saying, stop singing into the mic. We did this beforehand for who knows how many LPs, and you didn't complain to Alex about it. So I'm gonna do it.
What, someone complained about you singing in the mic?
No, nobody's complaining.
Not to him, no. And I don't do it that much. No! The bridge is becoming bats! What do we do? I don't know what's going on! I don't know! Andrea, tell me what's going on! The bridge is becoming bats!
Oh, what are so many games gotta have bats?
Dang bats.
Bats. Why did it have to be bats?
It doesn't work as well as snakes.
Yeah. Snakes. Why did it have to be
Like
snakes?
snakes on a plane, doesn't really work. So here's why this is considered the hardest stage. In the next room is... Oh, such a pain in the butt. So you see that blade down there?
It's rising, I take it.
Instant death, and yes, it rises. And these stairs fall. And if you fall off the stairs, you're done. You're absolutely done. Now, to somebody like, you know, my younger self, who can figure out how to actually scale stairs in a Castlevania game, this was not a good thing!
I can imagine.
So, and I'm not kidding, like, you could get stuck on a platform below and think, oh, well, you know, at least I didn't die, but you can't go any further. You basically have to wait for the blade to come and kill you. Thanks, Konami!
Oh, you know what that remind me of? That one level in Donkey Kong 3, yeah.
Yeah. Ripsaw Rage.
That'd be something Drak would love.
Dun-dun.
Oh, and this is another part that just makes you cringe, because you could literally just end up on a platform going straight into spikes. And we're still not past the blade yet. You have to get halfway through this area for the blade to not be a relevant threat anymore. I think it's by this point that the blade is not something you can worry about anymore, but it might be further up. So I still have a metal blade following me
I'm surprised
that could kill me instantly.
I'm surprised you don't... It's not after you yet.
No, I've had a good run so far, or in this case, multiple runs, if you can't tell. Alright, so take this one. Oh, no! There you go. Get to the door! Get to the door, Drak! Get to the door! Alright, so another thing that made this stage hard was it was the first time Castlevania had incorporated a boss rush. And this is the first time these bosses were seen, but man, they came into other games like Chronic Habits. I believe this one is called Slogra. And it doesn't look that hard now, but, well, Castlevania developers later decided to tweak with it and make it a pain in your butt.
Mm.
But this one was plenty hard because if you didn't know its pattern, you were screwed. Oh, look, I broke his spear. So now he's just gonna stab me with his beak. But man, epic boss fight music while you're doing it. Two more bars. And no, one more. And there you go. Slugger is done. That opens up the next area. And at least Konami was nice enough to let me refill my health.
That's nice.
They gave me plenty of chicken so that I could then move on to the next fight. And I believe the term that this one got coined was Dagon, but that's kind of not accurate because Dagon is one of the lost ones from Lovecraft, I believe. Yeah. Obviously, this guy doesn't look that hard if you get his pattern, but, well, just wait, because halfway down in his health, he gets faster. He basically enrages. Which I don't think I need to explain an enrage mechanic to Alex.
No.
Gets faster, hurts harder. And this is all just a stepping stone, Alex. This isn't even it.
Yikes.
The next boss is an old favorite.
With only 2 bars left.
Well, thankfully they're gonna let me get my health back.
Maybe.
It's upstairs. You don't take risks in Castlevania games. You could easily lose all your health, and if you don't check the walls at least once, you regret it. But now it's time for the right-hand man of Dracula himself.
The Grim Reaper.
Death has come to claim Simon Belmont. And he's just as hard as he was in the NES! Oh, I hate this mechanic. So he's basically slowly pulling himself towards you, and if you do not time things right, you could take a ton of damage. And I'm saying irrecoverable damage. Like, you can't bounce back from it. But thankfully,
Yay!
death goes down just like all the others.
Death is dead. How ironic.
Does that mean we can't die anymore?
I don't know.
And that opens up this area. And that's just a cool mechanic right there, to have the torches light up as you go past them.
Yeah.
And we end up at Dracula's tower. Now, I have no problem admitting this. I cheated! Because I like this little cheat. Want to be prepared for Dracula? This is how to do it. This gives you full hearts, full health, the 3 modifier, so you can actually have 3 crosses out on the stage at a time.
Was that a glitch, or is that really...
No, that's something that Konami literally programmed into the game.
So that's like a legit secret.
That's a legit secret. And I remember it was even advertised in Nintendo Power. So to the people who want to say in the comments below that I'm cheating, good luck with that. Konami put that in there.
He got the power, Nintendo power.
Indeed. And it's time for us to face the man himself, the Prince of Darkness, the Dragon, Lord Dracula. And at this point, he's not as hard as, say, the NES version, but man, if you don't know what you're doing, this guy can wreck you. As you guys can kind of see, you know, like, if I don't play the placement right. This version of Dracula apparently was so hard that you actually can get healing items off of it. It's the first time they've ever done it. Not from this particular attack, but there is an attack that will actually drop a wall chicken. That's the one, actually. There you go, to help you keep things going. And I only have 4 health off of him! No!
He's tough.
Well, the fight was meant more to last longer than the original. And he stops getting generous after a while, and this is the point.
Boy, this is a long fight.
Yeah. And it's just as painful to go through. I mean, if you aren't paying attention, it's the death of you in this particular stage. But I always appreciated the Super Castlevania 4 Dracula. It actually made you think on your feet, made you pay attention. And we also don't have to have a demonic Dracula at the end of it. So it's just you face the vampire himself. Halfway there, Alex. Halfway there. Okay, I gotta get the wall chicken now. No? Now, this is basically his enrage, where crap gets real. And yeah, he technically does become a demon, but I actually would dare say this isn't a change, because he resembles more the Nosferatu than he does. And he's also Emperor Palpatine, by the way, because of all the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're running into the wall.
Do it,
The
Alex.
electric.
Do it. I'm not trying to run into the lightning, but it's hard to get the placement. Last one. This is it. I have to down him. There we go. And the morning sun has quelled the horrible night. Get into my lip! Get into it! All those bats dead. Die,
Except that one.
you stupid bat. Always one bat must live, because 100 years later, the struggle must continue. But till then, Simon has done his task. And he has saved the land of Transylvania
Yay!
from Dracula. To which at that point we also get an epic cutscene depicting the fall of Castlevania. For this generation, anyway. And a great victory theme. And while we are going to relive the memories of this game, that is Super Castlevania 4. So final thoughts, Alex, on this epic game.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. I liked it.
What do you think about it being an improvement to the original?
Yeah, it's definitely done a lot of things better.
I will agree with a lot of the complaints where the sub-weapons weren't needed.
Mm-hmm.
You could have based things around the whip, but it still is very solid as a game. Andrea, final thoughts on Super Castlevania 4.
It was good. And a good
If this had been your first... So technically, you weren't there for Castlevania 1. So does this actually convince you that Castlevania 1 might have actually been a good game, or would you have preferred to just start from here?
Well, if I wanted to get into a series that bad, I would probably want to start at the beginning.
And all these epic moments. My final thoughts on Super Castlevania 4, I tend to be with James Rolfe on this. It is probably one of my most favorite Castlevania games, simply because it did so much right in the equation. It improved on the original, it added levels to it, it added depth. And it showed what video games would later do, which is like try to actually make you think about what you just played, what you just accomplished.
And you hit it in the eye.
I did. It has no eye.
Your favorite level.
I still remember that friend who threw up in this room. He didn't even know. I think after the end of that, he actually gave us his copy of Super Castlevania 4.
Nice.
Just because he couldn't finish it, so... I might have to double check with my brother on that, but...
RAM designer.
And oh look, it's Fred Astaire. I really wish I knew the name of that boss. And back into the long library. And I have to say this, it's also kind of set up a melancholy in me.
Mm-hmm.
We're finishing this game, and I just barely finished up the last Castlevania game that will ever happen.
Yeah.
And it makes me think back and go, man, the series was so good, and it disappoints me so much that we will not get another Castlevania game. Because Konami just doesn't care. Yes, Koji will give us Bloodstained, but Castlevania will always have a standing legacy with me. And it's always one of those things where I always envision being able to play with my kids this game and be able to show them the greatness of Castlevania. And, well, there's not going to be a new Castlevania anymore. And if I get proven wrong 10 years from now, fine. But I have a feeling Konami's not going to do anything with this franchise anymore. Which is a crying shame. Despite its hard times, despite its mediocre times, this franchise will always stand as one of the staples of Konami.
That's a cool pose.
Uh-huh.
You get your hand off!
And of course, the epic bridge turning into bats. I still remember seeing that for the first time and freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, how do I stop this?
Super voice.
Everything's super on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Just like everything's 64 on N64. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get Cube for, like, GameCube.
Double director.
Oh man, some of these poses are just awesome for Simon. It also makes me sad that, Simon has such a legacy with Nintendo. Why isn't he a character in Smash Brothers by now?
Because Konami.
Not a good enough reason to me. Just make him.
I don't know.
just put him in Smash Brothers, Konami. Just let him be there. Watch the profits come in. You're never going to make a Castlevania game, so you might as well just let them use it. Presented by Konami. So that is going to be it for our playthrough of Super Castlevania 4. When we get back, because this is pretty much going to be uploaded all in one weekend at this point, we do have a special LP for the month of November, and you guys will see us for that. It is not what you expect, but, well, we haven't had enough Star Wars in this year, so I think we need to remedy that, don't we?
Yep.
So next month, you get a special LP for the month of November of us playing Lego Star Wars, the complete saga.